This week we are finishing up matrices. So we're almost done with the matrices. And then we'll be moving on to our final unit. So since matrices is wrapping up, that means it's time to get unit 6 in, because after we finish module 7, which is matrices, 6 will be past due and no longer open. So if you're missing anything from module 6, get it in this week, because I'm about to close that down, because we'll be starting unit 8 next week. Once we start unit 8, then module 6 is closed down. So not many things missing from module 6, but there's still a few, some of you. So I will remind you also, parent-teacher conferences are tomorrow. Parent-teacher conferences tomorrow after school, 4:15 to like 7:45, I think. Love to have you come up and see in person, bring your parent. We are in the BHS building. That's where all of the virtual teachers are housed. We're in the south building. You'll see a big sign when you pull in at the stoplight into the school. Big sign up here says Gateway and Virtual. So that's an entrance there. Right there where the virtual school is. So come up and see us tomorrow night. So last one of the year. So I got to get all those engagement and learning grades put in here today. I got to work on that. The DC and the IC and, NYs and all that. So, all right, guys, I don't know if anyone else is coming. They can just catch up with when they get there. They can watch the video, come back later, whatever. Some of them are taking an extended Easter, apparently, because we're missing a few folks. All right, let's see what we have this week. Algebra 3. Let's go to our grade screen. All right, if we go down here. Look, I've already got mine turned in. I did mine today. Week 32, April 10th through 14th. We have one. I haven't done my quiz yet. The quiz is due this week too. See, both of those are due this week. The use matrices to represent systems of equations. That's the practice assignment in Khan Academy. And then we have the quiz 4 over matrices, and it is in Buzz here. So I didn't give it a number, did I? These I gave a number. It doesn't need a number. It's the last quiz in matrices. And then we'll be starting rational functions. So we will finish with rational functions all the way down to our semester final down there. But the semester final will have to be rearranged because it's not going to be May 26th. That's like the end of school, because you guys, seniors, finals, this is the last day for seniors, May 7th. Well, the May 5th, technically, that's the Sunday. And the finals are the few days after that. So this final will actually be due up in that week. For those of you who will not be exempt, hopefully most of you are exempt. Hopefully all of you are exempt. But try to be exempt if you haven't already missed too many days or whatever. Get everything turned in, get your grade at 75% or higher. You got to have those two things. No missing assignments, which means if you're missing any of these matrices, practice assignments, you'll have to take the final. So make sure you get all these turned in and get your grade above 75%. Hopefully you've kept your absences down and won't have to take the semester final, which will be, like I say, it's due before that for seniors. There's only a couple of folks in here that are not seniors. All right, let me look at what this week's talking about. We'll go ahead and go to the activity screen. See what all is included. Here is the week 32 right here, April 10th through 14th. We have a video on representing linear systems with matrix equations, which is what your practice assignment is about. Using matrices to represent systems of equations. Then you have 3 more videos that you need to watch before the quiz. Solving linear systems, matrix word problem, combining vectors, and matrix word problems prices. So you have 4 videos this week. You have a practice assignment and the last quiz before we start module 8 next week. So let me show you a little bit about what it's talking about with representing linear systems, which is the practice assignment. So this is a systems of equations. You may remember that. We haven't talked about that hardly this year, but we would try to solve this systems of equations, two different equations, and we need to figure out what x equals and what y equals for those systems. So we know the old-fashioned algebra way is we try to eliminate one of these, like we might multiply this by -2. So we got 2x and -2x. And then this would eliminate, and that would leave us with just this after we multiply it by -2. And we'd find what y is. And then we'd substitute that y back in. So there's a whole process. We can do that algebraically. We can also do that with matrices, and we can represent it this way. We can create a matrix. We can create multiple matrices because we need more than one for this. So this is the coefficients. First, we'll create a coefficient matrix. The 2, the 5, the 1, that has a coefficient of 1 and -2. And then we have this matrix, x, y. Okay, this is equal to that before the equals. And it equals 19 and -4. So this is representing this system equation with matrices. We can show this is equal because when you multiply these two together, it says when we multiply them together, it equals this. So you multiply the first row times the first column. So 2 times x be 2x plus 5 times y plus 5y. All right, that's what that would, first one would be. And then second row, first column, 1 times x is x plus -2 times y is -2y. And it equals 19, -4. So you can see that's exactly what we have up top. So when we multiply them back together, this is the same thing. Because we multiplied these two back together and got the same thing we had up here. So representing this system of equations, we can do with this matrix. And that's what our first video is going to be about. But then it goes on further in the next videos and talks about how to solve this. And that's going back to using the determinant and the inverse and that kind of stuff. And a lot of this would be easier to do it algebraically because this is not even solving. This is just representing. Solving it takes a few more steps. We'd have a few more steps solving this, which would be more work than it would to solve it just algebraically. But that's only for this one. If it gets more complicated, if it gets x, y, and z, and maybe you got 3 or 4 equations, this will be easier than doing that. And there's lots of other good reasons to know the process also. So you'll be seeing that in the video. They will go through this. The other videos will go through in solving that, on how to solve it using, after you set it up as matrices, then how do you solve those equations? How do you figure out what x equals and what y equals for those equations? So you'll be able to do that this week. So, not too bad. About to wrap up the matrices. Matrices is just a little different. Using a matrix to represent algebraic equations, a little different. Something we haven't really played with before in math. But we're going to wrap that up. It hasn't been too bad, I hope. The con videos do a good job of just detailing out. They color code everything so you can follow the color to find out where the X goes and all that good stuff. So that's good. So remember, parent-teacher conferences tomorrow. Finish up anything you're missing from Module 6 because we're about to finish 7 and Module 6 is going to be closed when we get to the end of this week. So finish up your Module 6 work. And with that, I won't keep you any longer. You got some videos to watch. So have a great week. It's a B day this Friday, so anyone needs to be here. You just have to be here Wednesday if your grade's below 70. You won't have to be here Friday this week.